Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Vodkast and Friends. Tonight I host my good friends Jess and Artie. They join me and we're going to talk about video games. I'll tell you right now, it gets off the subject a little bit, goes a little Dark Tower-y, Stephen King-y. You never know what's going to happen by the end of this video, but I just wanted to preempt this with a little introduction because I didn't film one that night. I feel like they're more immersive when I don't take it out of the conversation just to interrupt to start the program. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will catch you on the tail end of this thing.
What did I just do? Did I change mine? Okay. I changed mine to Parappa the Rappa because that's one of the games.
I'll be Jalandriel from EverQuest.
Oh, snap. Should change mine to Fisk then.
Jay and I are debuting a new drink for the Vodcast tonight. I sent him a little fucking viral video thing, and I wanted him to try this. So we both are going to make a drink tonight.
What's the drink?
It is Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey and Dr. Pepper. When I get done. And it's supposed to taste like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Peanut butter. Well, while I get this going, let me ask you a question. What was your first experience with video games? Was it an arcade or a console?
That's like oceans of times ago. I can't ever remember what the first one was. Obviously arcades, I would assume. I don't think my parents bought me a console if I was like 4 or 5. Like, it had to be arcades.
So you don't
Did we
remember
have consoles when we were young? Were the consoles around?
I know when the first one I had was the Atari 2600. My dad got it one Christmas, and he was way into technology. But my first memory with any kind of video game was going to York Beach, Maine. There was a giant arcade in York Beach.
They still have that in York.
I think, yeah, I've looked it up, and I'm like, wow, man, nothing's changed. The skee ball and everything, but
yeah, it's amazing. They still have some of the old games. Look at how they have. This is like a church key. When you needed to use a church key to open beers, that's what this is like. Let's taste the whiskey first, shall we?
Oh, you're trying it alone.
Oh, did you already mix yours?
Yeah, but I didn't
put
put
a
it
soda
on.
can.
They came in a little nugget can.
I got it in a little nip. Wow, that tastes like peanut butter.
That's amazing. Wow, what?
Artie, do you remember it? Was it an arcade? It had to have been an arcade for you.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like old pizza shops and stuff when there were convenience stores. There used to be arcades like everywhere. It was like
what was the place that had the cops game that you would shoot and you give them donuts?
I don't think I remember that one.
Yeah, you play a cop maybe, and then your extra bonus screen. Don't come over here. I have too much stuff. The bonus screen is you like shoot donuts or something. I know I remember that.
How far back is it?
I played it with. I think I played it with Artie. That's why like
Dreamcast era or PlayStation?
No, it was in. I was gonna say it was in real life. It was in like outside of the house.
Inside a house?
Outside of the house.
So probably at the mall, maybe.
No.
Ryan's maybe.
Maybe Ryan's. I'll look it up. Well, you guys, I gotta drink this and see if it tastes like a peanut butter cup. Does it?
Yeah, I mean it reminds me of it, but not. I don't know. Maybe I didn't put enough of one or the other. This is the problem. I don't know.
You put way too much Dr. Pepper in.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah, I'm not usually a Wednesday drinker, but god damn.
Do you mind looking up the name of that place in York Beach? Too. I know it's got a name like. I remember playing. There was 2 games I remember distinctly. There was gun shoot. And there was some kind of object in between you that you had to shoot until you shot the other person.
Funorama.
Is that Outlaw?
Outlaw. That's it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars game, the sit down Star Wars one. Yeah.
Playing that in the arcades was totally changed me for
Mind-blowing.
sure. Yeah, milestone. I remember. So I'm thinking about all the old arcades and stuff. Like, just before, like Atari was big too. I think they would both gain popularity at the same time, pretty much. But like arcades were like, where was that? Going to play Pac-Man and stuff. And it was all dark, the neon lights and stuff.
I remember Papa Gino's in Rainham. I'd go I think it was every Monday night with my uncle, and they had one of those sit-down ones, so you could sit there and play. I think it was Ms. Pac-Man, and I
Oh, the
loved it.
tabletop
Yeah,
arcades. Yeah, those are great. Papagino's was always good for having an arcade in the back for
yeah.
a long time.
That little room they had. That's funny how like you used to be able to go anywhere, even like Store 44, which was Christie's before that. Like I remember walking down there and there was a little room that had like 3 or 4 arcade games that you could go in and play.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
You don't even have like comics or anything anymore. There's
No,
nothing.
no.
There's no area for you to like hang out and loiter at.
No malls.
Yeah, fancy that they took away all the just hanging out in the corner and
Not
yelling
spending
at
any
each other.
money.
Yeah, not spending any money. Probably stealing stuff.
Yeah. Visiting your friends to get free shit.
I'd walk up and down the street picking up cans when a quarter could actually get you like,
Yeah.
a pack of Garbage Pail Kids or something.
Mhm.
It's like worth it.
Police trainer. It was police trainer.
Police trainer?
Yes.
That doesn't sound familiar. Is that a PC game?
No, it was an arcade game.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that was like with a gun and stuff, right?
Yeah. Look at I'll
Let's
share
see
this.
let's see the video.
So excited right now. Hold on.
Actually, now that I've leveled it off, yes, this does taste like a peanut butter cup.
This.
Oh, yeah, I think that looks familiar. Yeah. It was that early bad CGI era.
I loved this game so much. Oh my God. Where's the bonus scene where you get to
Shoot the
Of
donuts?
course, back then this looked mental, by the way.
This was like
Yeah.
insane.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed through the years with video game systems. There hasn't been a huge jump in that awe factor for me, at least, in years.
Absolutely.
Donuts.
Oh, wow.
That was the best.
I'm starting to get bummed because new games are coming out for these new consoles,
Mhm.
like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox
Mm.
One. And it's like they look no different than. It's like, what
Yeah.
other games did they come out with?
Everything's remakes now.
Yeah,
Nothing's
it's all
original.
Yeah, it's a reboot or
Yeah.
a
What was
sequel
your? I
or
know
something.
this is Jay's Vodcast, but I need to know. Like, I'm gonna take over. What's your all-time favorite gaming system, like of all time, that you've ever owned?
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
I
Um,
asked
really-
I asked the hard question. Sorry.
There's so much love for so many of them. It's
yeah.
tough to narrow it down. I'd say I'd probably say the Switch is my favorite.
Holy
Mm.
shit! Even though
There's so
really,
much retro. Yeah, there's so much retro content on it and modern, and you can just pick it up and like take it with you.
that's crazy. I did not expect for you to say a new system.
I do love, but like the NES and the Super Nintendo, they're like always.
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance, those are like permanently God
Ingrained.
status. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say I was always a Sega kid growing up. I had a Master System and I had a Genesis, and I maybe Genesis because I remember playing Altered Beast for the first time and being like, just like, oh my God, this is amazing! I can turn into a creature and like.
And the graphics were insane.
Yeah,
Like it was such a huge step up from Nintendo.
Yeah, it was like every generation was like doubling the processing power and doubling the graphical power.
Yeah.
Up to like I don't know, maybe like
Graphical?
PlayStation 2 or so. Like I mean, this made huge leaps forward, but nothing that like is mind blowing. What about you, Jess?
Oh, Dreamcast.
Yeah, it's a good system. That would be my like second.
Hands down. If the cords were just a little bit longer, I'd still have it plugged in to this very day.
Remember those fucking controllers? How goddamn big they were.
Yeah. And picture,
Yep.
look at these. You know how much bigger they were.
Oh
With
yeah.
It's like a big hamburger.
Yeah.
The memory stick that went in them that was like giant. You could add in.
Well, that was like a little Game Boy. You could play games on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it had a tiny screen. That's right.
Yeah.
Your Dreamcast was hands down probably like the most innovative fucking typing of the dead. I mean, come on, you're playing a game where you're
God.
typing zombies to death.
Jesus, come
Please.
on. Speed Devils. Have you ever played? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh my God. I still reference that game. I referenced that game like last month.
Yeah, not too long ago.
We were watching Free Guy, I think, with Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, oh, this is like Speed Devils when he's running through the city.
Mhm.
Played my first MMO on that with that Fantasy Star Online.
Mm.
That's on my list. I made my list of favorite Dreamcast games, and Phantasy Star is on that. Was that before or after EverQuest or during?
It was before.
Okay, I thought so too. I remember playing at your house like back in the day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're gonna go to Artie's and we're gonna go online with the Dreamcast and play Phantasy Star online.
With the dial-up connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also I had to play Quake 3 on a dial-up and freak out and scream at 16-year-old kids when I was like 26 years old, calling them like, "You motherfuckers! Don't you have to go to school? It's 8 o'clock in the morning, you pricks!"
Yeah, there was no microphone back then, unfortunately.
Oh,
you could
God.
type. You could type
You
messages.
could type
though,
in.
with
It's
your
like Foxy
keyboard.
Brown called you a cunt. That was like,
Yeah. Dreamcast was good. Dreamcast introduced us to the world of Tony Hawk.
yeah.
That's
And
true.
Worms. I think Worms was first played on.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Dreamcast is
Lot
my.
of-
If I have to get a little tattoo of I'll get that little Dreamcast fucking symbol, and everybody will ask me what tribal tattoo it is, and I'll just fucking get mad. There's Tony Hawk, Worms, Worms World Party, I think was for Dreamcast. Quake 3, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Shenmue, where you can.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Okay, I made a list. Are you kidding me? Shenmue, Soul Calibur.
I remember the Resident Evil Code Veronica was sick on that because it changed it moved it to a moving camera instead of stationary pictures. You know.
Yeah, it used to be like that over the shoulder thing.
Yeah, and over the shoulder. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was like no more fixed camera.
Yeah.
It would like pan and stuff as you walk through the room and stuff.
Shenmue is all like real time too. You're like, fuck, I gotta go to sleep before I can get up and go buy a cat out of a box and then go to the arcade in my video game.
I loved it. Space Harrier, I think they had in there.
Oh my god, Space Harrier was fantastic.
I played through that on the Switch recently.
I might have to look into a Switch because like I don't want to set up a Nintendo or get like a mod for Super Mario 3.
I mean, the originals are the originals. the old school consoles like Nintendo and Sega, Super Nintendo, the graphics never change. Like, you know, like with PlayStation, like you look back and you're like, whoa, like I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I tried playing Banjo Kazooie on N64 and it was like a muddy mess. Like I didn't know how I could see anything in that.
That's how I went back to replay the first Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
And I was like, oh, this is shit. Like I love this game so much and I love everything that followed it, but this is absolute dog shit. And I don't know how the hell I saw anything or played anything or completed this game.
That's why remakes are kind of nice in a way. When they do an HD remake, it's nice to play a game you loved, as long as they don't change it up. As long as it's the same game, just freshened graphics. Yeah. Resident Evil, I mean that was a good example.
Resident Evil 4 for the Wii was like a really good remake for it.
They just re-released that for PlayStation, I believe.
What?
Coming out. There's a new remake.
I gotta start blowing people behind a dumpster for a 5 pretty soon.
I hadn't heard you'd stopped.
Like everything's coming out for PlayStation 5 and nothing.
It's like, yeah, they know it's not PS4 and 5 anymore. Now it's they're trying to make everything 5.
Transition, yeah.
Yeah, they're forcing it now.
Yep.
They don't, no one bought a modern console.
They're also like, weren't they like $800 trillion when the 5 came out though?
Well, no, they're the same price they are now, but you couldn't get one. So everybody was like getting them and marking them up.
Yeah.
We got ours like right around launch. I got an email one day being like, hey, they're available at noon. I logged into Sony site. I just got lucky and we got one before Christmas. Yeah. Oh, I was super lucky. I doubted it until the package showed up that day. I was like, holy shit, I actually got one.
This is going to be a bunch of bricks.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of a bunch of bricks, I don't know if you were around, but somebody got sent back to a fucking Walmart with a bunch of bricks in a box instead of a fucking Xbox. And I can't believe it and go to jail for that.
I remember this. That would be you, Jessica.
I know. The only reason I did it is because I didn't know it was can I use the term? Is that like?
I don't know. I think you can. I'm not sure, but let's go for it.
Let's go. Yeah. I don't want to use that
What
term.
was the whole reason for that? The hard drive died on the Xbox?
Hard drive died, so it was switched out, and they were like, well, let's send Jess in because she doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and she'll act totally. Just go ahead.
Don't tell her anything and just send
No,
her in.
and nothing was told to me, and I went in. I returned a broken Xbox in exchange for a new Xbox with my name all over everything.
Like with the hard drive ripped out of it.
Yeah, I don't think was it Walmart. I don't think Walmart was smart enough to open up that box and check for the hard drive. It sure as shit wasn't GameStop, because if it was GameStop, one of you guys could have just brought it in and walked out with a new one at that point.
It was probably Benny's.
Oh, Benny's.
That place is it's probably the downfall right there. The start of their demise was returned Xboxes.
I put my Nintendo Entertainment System on layaway at Benny's.
Holy shit.
And I chipped away at it, like painting things and doing chores and stuff.
Yep.
I had that in a bunch of games like Zelda.
I bet you were psyched out of your mind that day.
Oh yeah, I was so excited, man. That totally next level. First time you played Zelda, remember that?
Oh my god, yeah, that's on my list. Yeah,
I never got into Zelda.
Zelda was beautiful. It was just like it's simple. It was screen after screen, and just solving like little not riddles, puzzles, and just I just love the hell out of that game.
See, that was like Myst for me.
Oh, Myst.
Yeah, I liked playing Myst instead of Zelda. It was a puzzle based also, but it was like not cutesy, I guess.
Zelda's like action adventure, where Myst is just like puzzle solving.
This was my pre-D&D days, so I don't think I liked like action-based combat and all that stuff and turn-based, like having to build your character. I don't think I had done that at that point. Speaking of turn-based, how about Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior?
Well, the old RPGs, the classics. My favorite was the first I ever played was Miracle Warrior: Seal of the Dark Lord on the Master System. And I still to this day remember it. I would love to. I think I do have a what do you call it? Emulator that'll run it.
Like Jess had mentioned with Silent Hill, like you go back and it lives in your heart like fondly. But when
you're like, what the hell is this?
Back, like, whoa.
It's weird. You just look at it and you're like, it's so fucking dark and pixelated. How did I do anything at all? But back in the day, I sat there for 14 hours a day and played it. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, that was a question I had. What was your favorite controller of all time?
Oh,
Dreamcast.
Really?
I think because I learned how to play so many games on it, I knew all the buttons without looking down.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
and then if I went to like a PlayStation 1 controller, it was so awkward because it wasn't a Dreamcast controller. You're looking for buttons that don't exist, like triggers. I think Dreamcast had 2 triggers underneath, didn't it?
I think it was 1 on each side.
Yeah. I'd look for those on other controllers that didn't exist and just hit plastic.
Well, that's right. The PlayStation 1 controllers didn't have the triggers.
No.
Did the first Xbox did that?
Yeah.
I never. All I remember Xbox was at Bay Street
Jelly Bean
playing Xbox like NHL 2001 for like hours or something. Like that's all Xbox is to me is fucking NHL.
Lots of Mortal Kombat. The 3D Mortal Kombats.
Already standing up and never sitting down for Mortal Kombat.
I'm standing right now, actually.
It was always so intimidating playing Mortal Kombat, and Artie's like standing up next to you, and you're like, "Don't beat my ass with Taki, please." Tuna Taki. You have a video of Corey playing Tony Hawk, don't you?
Yeah. I would cut that in here, but he would probably kill me. I wanted to introduce the world to a new series I have called Corey Stories, and I wanted him to talk about Tony Hawk because we spent hours upon hours just trying to get every gap in the game so that we could say we fully completed it. And
it wasn't even it was a lifestyle at that point. It wasn't a game.
It was like we just knew we would show up. We knew what we were doing that night until we got as much done as we could. There's
literally no world that I hear like Bring the Noise and I don't think of Tony Hawk.
Oh, I know. There's so many songs that I hear that I think of Tony Hawk.
I hear like bass and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm playing. Like that's it. It's on.
Yeah. I started seeing the world as Tony Hawk's World. Like after I would leave the house, I'd be like, oh, I could grind that, and then I could ollie it.
Your sweep method of performing combos.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is
Froop,
fucking
The
I could-
sweep, yeah.
froop, froop.
mash those buttons.
Hold down X, double tap at the top of the ramp, and floop floop. And
That's
do like
the
a
biggest.
360.
That was like the biggest insult. You fucking button masher.
But it worked.
Oh,
How
yeah.
dare you? I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not mashing buttons.
Brad's pulling off these 900s and stuff with these weird combos, and I'm just like, floop, floop.
And you do like 10,000.
Yeah,
Yep.
ridiculous points. Yeah,
You fucking just smashing buttons. I was so angry.
you just chain them. You just chain them together and keep mashing until you can't balance out anymore, and then you land it.
Fucking button masher.
And Quake, I remember playing Quake on the Dreamcast with all of us. We'd all
That's
just
when
sit
you
there.
mentioned a nail gun earlier. It brought me right back to Quake.
Mm-hmm.
Nail guns are all Quake. BFGs are all Quake.
Yeah,
Screaming at
BFG's
kids.
Doom.
Yeah.
I never really played Doom. I did Quake more than Doom, I guess.
But-
Quake
I
3
played-
Arena was the fucking shit. I loved that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a
Still
lot of
on-
fun.
There's still online service for it.
We should
That's
play it.
crazy. It's timeless, man. That's one of those games. It
I
is a
wonder if
little rough.
Yeah,
But
there's an RTX version of it I downloaded before I had my new computer.
on Steam. Quake 3 is on Steam.
Is it on sale? Everything's on sale right now on
Yeah,
Steam.
Steam.
Send me a friend's request on Steam.
I don't have a Steam. That's why I'm wondering who used my somebody took my Discord account, so I have to start all over on everything.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
$6. I'm grabbing it.
Oh, really? $6? Yeah, I'll
$6
get that.
bucks.
tomorrow.
What? I don't think I can play on this. I need a controller. I need a Dreamcast controller. Can I use that?
You could probably use a controller. You could probably find a modded Dreamcast controller that will hook up to USB.
Mm.
or just get the adapter if they have an adapter for it.
I'd have to go up in the garage in the attic and get my Dreamcast shit.
Did you play a lot of Mario Kart? Corey and
Yes.
I played a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
That was a blast. I could play that for hours. I played that at house when he used to have to babysit his nephew, and me and Corey would just sit there and just constantly play it. He had a little nephew, and that kid sucked. His nephew sucked so bad.
In general or at Mario Kart?
No, just in general in life. He's a shitty kid. He used to literally, he would walk by a mirror and just like be like, "Ugh." And me and Corey would be like playing Mario Kart, just looking at him, being like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And like, then he'd come sit down and like be normal.
What, was he mad about losing or something?
No, I think he was just, he was a weirdo.
It sounds like he got an exorcism and then
Yeah, I think
Devoted
maybe he
himself.
did.
I was trying to think because I know in my head, I know my parents bought me a Nintendo when I was younger, but I don't remember like playing any games other than Mario.
Really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really. Yeah. What about Duck Hunt?
Well, yeah, that's Mario. I mean,
Duck Hunt.
the original games that came with it, but
Duck
I
Hunt.
very much remember I sat for like months in the basement on Kingman Street in Taunton and played Aladdin for a Super NES.
Oh,
Months.
Mm.
I fucking,
Nice.
holy shit, that game was the best. I think I was the only one that played it, but
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get a copyright strike. I can't sing.
well, I looked it up
Mhm.
earlier because I was like, yeah, that was Super NES. The game didn't have the rights to the movie, but they had the rights to Aladdin, the movie, but not what happened in the movie. So
Huh.
they did other things in the game that weren't part of what happened in the
Came
movie.
up with shit.
Yeah. It's
the
Aladdin.
old- yeah. Taking
It was-
liberties is what.
Yeah, massive liberties because you had to like fly out of the Cave of Wonder and
Yeah.
like do all this random shit, but they didn't have like the actual rights to like go get Jasmine on the flying carpet and try and bang her or something. I don't know.
Disney games were hit or miss. They were either good or bad. DuckTales, that was good.
DuckTales is a classic.
I don't remember
The
any Disney
Aladdin game
games.
was a classic too. That was a great game.
Nah, I would,
Lion
yeah.
King one.
I remember that one.
I wonder if Switch has Aladdin.
It does. There's a 2-pack.
does?
It's Aladdin and Lion King.
Oh,
The Switch like plugs into your TV. I feel like I'm so
Yeah.
like I feel like, all right, kids, put the VCR together. That's how I feel like,
Yeah.
like the Switch.
Yeah, things have changed a lot.
I know it's not a console, but a PC is technically a console for video games, right?
Yeah,
I mean, how do you define that?
I would consider it. I mean, I wouldn't consider it a console, but it's definitely a form of being able to play video games.
Yeah, because I was talking to Herbie. I was like, "Oh, we're talking about console games," and he was like, "Oh, I love that." And I was like, "That's a PC game, though. It's not." He's like, "It's a console game, which is a game." Like,
Mm.
because I guess some of the original systems were just PC based consoles.
Yeah, ports over to. Yeah. I played a lot of PC games on friends' PCs. I didn't have a PC that could play video games until '94. And I remember playing a lot of I played MUDs where you'd go online, you'd log into local colleges and you'd play role playing games, but it was all text based. So you'd type in what you wanted to do. I do remember playing Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was all a text based game where it's turn left, go to vending machine, place finger and hole, that's how you played the game.
Yeah, and you had to just keep guessing at what to do next.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah. That's how Myst and Riven was, because those were PC.
Yeah.
Myst was great. I remember some early RPGs that TSR put out that were pretty good too. The Forgotten Realms ones. They had some Dragonlance ones.
Bard's Tale.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into PC games until EverQuest. Downhill.
That's a generational defining moment. MMOs when they came, because they really just took over. We'd either be hanging out or we'd be hanging out in EverQuest, one way or another.
Yeah. And everybody played. All right, get off. You already played for an hour. Can I just log in, please? I got to go to the fucking Southern Desert or row. People were getting mad at each other because there were
Jay's
6 people around one computer waiting.
Yeah.
I got to go to the AH, which was in a cavern. There was no AH. You had to go follow that little light up path that brought you to a cave, and that's where everybody was selling stuff.
Oh yeah.
Until Luckland or Looseland came out.
Yeah.
Common Lands.
And then you had to drop a bag and hope when you logged out and logged back in with the other character, the bag was still there.
Yeah, someone didn't snatch it because you would have to unbind it or something so anyone could pick it up.
Yeah,
so
you had to
get it.
I remember going to an inn, going upstairs, sitting in the corner of a bed, making sure nobody was there, dropping a bag, logging out really quick, logging back in with my other character and being like, oh, thank God the bag's still here.
Yeah, we were all thoroughly hooked on that. I love that game. I put so much time into that.
Yeah.
It's a great game. I mean, the concept of it's beautiful. People playing together, grouping up, and your friends coming together, to go on these missions. It was like playing D&D or it was the second best thing that you could, have to D&D.
Yeah.
And it was a social D&D.
Yeah.
Online all the time.
It's still popular too. It's free to play, but you have to pay to get certain you can only get certain weapons or whatever bullshit if you have a paid account, but you can just play EverQuest for free now. I think it's on Steam.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's crazy. Back in the day when you had to wait all right, I got to go to GameStop and get the new expansion at fucking 9:30 a.m.
What was that big one? The moon there. Shadows of Luckland.
Shadows of
Luckland, yeah.
Luckland.
The old debate.
Yeah.
The forever debate of how it's pronounced.
I always said Looseland, but after I heard Luckland, I liked it better, I think.
Yeah, but Looseland's how it's said. I don't know. Everybody pronounces it differently. I'm not going to get into a Luckland, Looseland debate because I also say the wrong name in Dark Tower for that guy.
Who?
His buddy.
Yeah, you know who I mean.
Or Cuthbert?
Yeah,
Cuthbert. Oh, yeah, Cuthbert. Yeah.
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert is how I read it the first time.
I was pronouncing Cuthbert.
It's Cuthbert. Cuthbert.
Do you think they could make a successful Dark Tower game?
No, what? What would the game be?
Oh, I am legally obligated to tell you at this point that the following content is property of the Quartet Studios, which was formed on this night, I believe it was March 23rd of 2023. Any information obtained over the next 45 minutes is property of the Quartet Studios. Any attempt to use that information to make your own video game would be a real disappointment to us. We don't want to have to send some gunslingers after you. Please enjoy. What if it was an MMO, just in the world of the Dark Tower?
Okay, so wait. This is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Your goal is to get to the top of the tower.
Yeah.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Or to get to the tower. You got to imagine this is a giant world because it can't be
Would
easy
you
to get
have
there.
to, would there be missions that you would have to group for because there's only certain things that you can do as a group? Like you'd have to be like Wheel of Ka and everybody gets together.
That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that. I think
Have
you
you
could do
pitched
it.
that? Trademarked. You gotta like trademark that
God
verbal
damn
signature.
it.
Well, you got to incorporate the other reality.
Yeah, to be able to flip over into like our like 1980.
Oh, and how would you know if you were in the right reality though? Until you got to the tower and you're like, fuck, this is the wrong one. I just spent 12 hours doing this.
It'd be just like Mario.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Mario. But
Sorry, Roland, your horn is in another tower. I would be pissed. That's actually a really good idea.
Better than a movie.
Would anybody want to be Eddie though? Like if you're like, all right, somebody has to be Eddie. I don't want to be
fucking
Eddie.
love Eddie. Dude. He's like my favorite character. That's why I love Drawing
Well,
of
he's
the
a
Three.
skinny drug addict, so I can see why.
Drawing of the Three was great. And
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be Eddie. Somebody's got to be Susanna. Somebody's got to be the priest. Like everybody would have to have a role to do like Wheel of Ka.
Well, you already have a filthy mouth, so you could be Susanna, you know.
I guess so. Fuck these plates. Like I stuck.
Oh, the plates.
Calling everybody honkies, throwing plates. I'm down. That would be awesome. All right. That is I can't stop thinking about that as a video game though.
So I need to reach out to who? Stephen King about this idea?
The Dark Tower?
Yeah.
I would assume so because I think he may or may not own the rights. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, he might have sold the Gunslinger rights when that new movie came out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to reach out to Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
As a tie-in. What in the hell is the name of that stupid book?
Let's just make our own game.
I mean,
this idea.
How hard can it be?
You just slightly change all the names.
Yeah.
But Voland.
Boland.
Like Nolan or
Nolan, yeah, Nolan.
Dolan. Ooh, Dolan's not bad. What the hell is the name of that stupid book he put out? Let's see.
There was another celebrity I needed to reach out to. Weird Al? Weird Al. I'm going to ask Weird Al if I can use the White Stuff as the theme song of any time I do an Oreo vodcast.
Nice.
What? I just put my Silent Hill Perlers up on my shelf. I can't take those down.
Hot damn.
They're fucking amazing.
Thank you.
So cool. And this one too. Hold on.
I based them on Silent Hill 1 designs. Oh, yeah, there he is.
What I always thought was a raccoon.
Mario, what's your favorite Nintendo character?
This one.
Icon, mascot,
Tanuki.
Enemy, boss.
Takuni? Raccoon Mario, whatever his real name is. Yeah, Tanuki.
Yeah. Your little bear suit.
Yeah. No, his little raccoon
into a
suit.
Statue.
I love him.
Down, he turns into a statue for some reason.
That's my favorite Nintendo character of all time, is specifically him.
I like Link a lot, but I mean, Luigi gets no love. That's why I always try to play him whenever.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that Waluigi, Wagio? How do you say it?
Waluigi?
Yeah, I didn't know Waluigi was bad Luigi. I just thought it was like Wario's brother.
No, he's a bad guy. Yeah.
No, I didn't realize he was like bad Luigi. Yeah, I just thought it was like they were using their names and like taking their identities and being bad with them.
No, I guess not. I don't know the story behind it. Were they cloned or something?
They're like Bizarro.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like the Purple Pie Man from Strawberry Shortcake.
Yeah, he does a wicked lot, doesn't he?
He doesn't have the big poofy hat. Zelda 2 Link design. Remember that? The sprite?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that really struck me. It was like a great, it's like an abstract art, basically, the pixel art. It's like so minimalist, but they're able to convey images with only like a few dots, you know?
Yeah, it's fine art. It's amazing. That's why I love seeing it come together with the stuff that you make. I'm always just like so amazed at, because it reminds me exactly of what I remember when I was a kid and be like, holy shit, that's
I make them pixel perfect.
Do you make do you make a thwomp?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Because I was like, wait, I was trying to think of what my non-Mario favorite thing is, and it's the thwomp. I love those friggin' things.
I love a lot of the little creatures. The turtles, I think they're awesome. And
Yeah.
the little bombs.
Mm-hmm. They all had
Mario.
a little trick to them. Like you had to try and tempt the Thwomp to trigger, and then you could wait and jump through when he was retracting the bombs. You could jump on them, and then you'd have a few seconds before they blew up. You had to be careful of that. Mario 2, you could pick them up and you could carry them somewhere and then throw them.
That's right. You could pick stuff out of the ground in Mario 2. Yeah. I liked Mario 3 a lot. The raccoon suit was, what do you call it again? Tanuki?
He's Raccoon Mario, but he's not. He's a raccoon dog, which has a certain name.
That's actually a different power up in the game. There's raccoon and there's Tanuki.
Oh,
yeah, Tanuki,
okay.
that's what it is, yeah.
Tanuki looks like a bear. He's like a bear suit, and if you press down, he turns into a statue. It's for like one level in the game.
I don't remember that one.
If you use the flutes, like if you did the warp zones and stuff, you'd never see that.
Oh my god, that just got me back in my gullet. You saying that?
Warp zone.
The warp zones of the flute. Shut up. Oh my god, I have to play this again.
How awesome was that when you first found like you could go behind the walls and stuff? So wild.
I'm looking at a complete list of all Super Mario characters, and I'm like, the Cheep, that little fish, that red fish with the lips, Magic Koopa, the Koopa that was dressed like a wizard.
The wizard, with the wand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mario's one of those few games, or Super Mario Brothers is one of those games that successfully transitioned over from 2D to 3D. I think really well.
The camera is rough. It's really rough.
Yeah.
I wanted to find every star in that game first time I played it.
So that Mario, and I was going to mention it with Tony Hawk. Those were the first two games where I noticed like that new element of having hundreds of collectibles or little achievements, things that you could do. It was like the Pokemon thing where you got to get them all. I 100%ed Mario 64. I got every star, even though.
And it's not like you could just go online and look up what's the Easter eggs in this game either.
Yeah, you could see how to do it, but you still had to do it.
The skill to do it. Yeah.
Well, or you could just be a button masher.
Some games you could just mash buttons.
A button swiper. I don't know what you prefer.
It's a double swipe. You get high enough. As long as you hit that ollie off of the top of the ramp, you're good. You can double swipe, and then you got to hit a 360 at least at the same time to get the multiplier.
Fucking mash those buttons. Who bit the controller? Did Corey bite the controller?
He speaks true.
Fucking gnawing on a fucking controller playing Tony Hawk.
Just furious, so angry that he couldn't do something. Yeah.
That's the thing. I remember some massive, I don't remember myself getting so pissed to the fact that I bite a controller or smash a table, but I have seen both of those things happen in people playing. I've seen somebody smash a table playing either Tomb Raider or Metal Gear Solid. And then I saw Corey biting a controller in Tony Hawk.
Oh. Is Corey getting all pissy playing Tony Hawk? Complaining about being tired and keeping himself awake. Dude, I'm exhausted. I only have 4 more bullets to go, though.
Did you drain the fountain yet?
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Waiting to hate.
Fucking grind the awning.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'm a zoologist. I never told you guys.
Was this when they were doing Klonopins or something?
Yeah. I came to Bay Street and I was like, oh, fuck, the table's broken.
Isn't it funny that video games can provoke so many different emotions? Like, not only does it bring you joy and fear and excitement, but also rage beyond anything you ever thought.
And sadness. I've cried before playing a video game. Like, somebody kicked me out of a group on World of Warcraft and called me a loser. And I was like, but they said I don't know the mechanics. It was true, but dude, it's a fucking game. No more pickup groups for me.
Yeah, storytelling has gotten better too. Like The Last of Us, or I love the Uncharted series. I think all of those were really good. It's the number one form of entertainment, money making wise in the world. Like it makes more
monetarily.
monetarily. Thank you.
It's just that.
And I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
It's got to be in the trillions. If you
Yeah.
combined every company and every piece of revenue that's coming in, it's got to be trillions.
I mean,
Yeah.
picture how much the Dark Tower game alone would make. Like, what platform do we
yeah.
put that on? That's a PC game, I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna have its own console. We're gonna have
Oh, shit.
Oh,
The King console with a K. Console with a K.
damn.
And it's gonna have nesticles too.
Nesticles. This would be amazing. We have to like really dig deep into this game, write it all out, send it off to whoever owns the Dark Tower now and be like, $1, please. Buy it for $1 and then just give us all the rights to all the marketing rights afterwards.
I mean, you what if there's got to be some kind of a class system in the game where not everyone is a gunslinger?
Obviously. So you have a gunslinger, you have somebody that that shines.
Who shines, yeah.
Because they're the breakers.
Yep.
You have the priest who has the power of God. Susanna throws a plate and yells at people. So she's like the type that like in It, where they demean people until they disappear. That's her superpower. What else? What else do you need?
Banishment.
Yeah, banishment. The man in black is a wizard, obviously.
So
Eddie shoots up heroin and he can get through airports really easy.
So that's like your rogue class.
Yeah, he'd be a rogue, I guess.
So
This
technically, they're all gunslingers, though. I would say
They are, but they would
Yeah.
have like
Who throws them?
a secondary like helping power.
Yeah.
they could have skills. Like you could have different skill trees and stuff.
Well, the new EQ, I think it was, and by new I mean like 15 years ago, everybody had to have you had to do your part in time with everybody else's part for it to work to kill like a major boss. So it could be something like that where it's like Roland shoots his gun at the same time the breaker is taking the beam down, and like everybody would have their specialty power that they would have to do their move for at the same time. I'm into this.
Yeah, like we could have like a group attack or something, combined abilities and.
Yeah, Jay, get on this.
Like
You're gonna he's gonna
Captain-
forget by tomorrow.
I mean, I've written it down. That's
the Captain Planet or the Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, form of
Joke.
a rose, and everybody gets like a red rose, and they get to climb the side of the tower. I gotta step away for a
But
second.
the thorns cut you horrendously if you.
But not unless Susanna's thrown those plates.
That's true.
Yeah, or Oi
And
goes up
she has-
there and chews them off.
You can upgrade the wheelchair and stuff. You get like a jetpack.
You start off, you don't even get one at first. You start off on Eddie's back in a knapsack. You have to build your wheelchair along the way. This is a game, I'm telling you. This is a game.
Something's coming together.
I feel like if anything ever happened, Jay would burn all this footage. He's like, I thought of it myself, and there's nothing to prove.
I
that it
don't
was
even know
anything.
them. I've never met them before in my life.
This is for the lawsuit in the future.
Shit, I should have been recording this.
I have to go back and circle way back to the favorite controller question. I gotta go. I mean, there's so many. I've really been thinking about this off and on. Like, there's so many greats, but probably the NES controller.
Wow.
I think I'll have to go with that because that.
You're going classic,
Just
traditional.
holding it. Yeah, the D-pad was perfect. You never had a problem with it. The buttons are perfect. Some other controls are great, but there's always a little flaw or something to it. Like the Super NES controller was great, but the trigger buttons weren't right, But I love the 4-button layout. Close second is the Sega Genesis 6-button controller.
Yeah, I like that controller. I like the curvature of it. Like I always felt really good in the hand. I don't know. I still think the DualShock last iteration or the DualSense, I like both of them a lot. I've just gotten used to them, using them. I've only had PlayStation. Well, no, that's not true. I have an Xbox One, but I usually just play PlayStation if I'm going to play a game, and I've gotten used to it. I don't know if that makes it my favorite or not, though.
I love that they've stayed consistent with the DualShock.
Yeah.
For like 4 at least. The DualShock 4 was perfection for sure.
Yeah.
Never had a problem with that. The Xbox controllers always seem to be a little dicey, like the D-pad sucks or
something about them.
Yeah. But
The first one was just too big and bulbous.
It was a hamburger.
Yeah. What do you think about the GameCube controller? That was such a change. It was like, what the hell is this middle thing? I don't have a third hand. I can't,
You mean N64?
N64. Yeah. Yep.
That was wild for sure. But revolutionary.
I gotta
That
look
was
that
the
up. I don't
first
even
analog
remember.
stick.
That's right. Yeah.
What the hell? That's right. That looks so weird.
I have 2 N64s in the closet and a bunch of games.
Nice.
I've got a Super Nintendo. I've got an N64, the Pokemon one, the yellow one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a collector's item.
Is it really?
Yeah, if it has the Pokemon on it. That
I'm
big,
trying to think.
like molded into the plastic.
I think it does. Yeah. If I'm not
It was like
mistaken.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's $380 on eBay right now.
Shit. I'll pull it out of the closet at some point. I just saw it too. I saw it one day and I was like, shit, I forgot my wallet in the car. So I went back. Not my wallet. I forgot something in the car. I had to go back out. When I came back in, there was somebody looking at it and I just reached around him and I grabbed it.
Where did you buy it from?
Goodwill.
There's a blue one and an orange one. Which one do you have?
Blue.
Okay. So the orange one is, I think, overseas, and the blue one is the American version of it.
Okay.
So the orange one is like $400, and the blue one still sells for like almost $300.
That's not bad. I think I paid like $12.99.
Holy shit! Really?
It was before like Goodwill like transitioned over to like whatever they are now, because they're not just a donation store. They have sections of stuff that they sell. These times they are changing, I tell you.
Yep.
That's another thing for video games. Those are some great ass Halloween costumes. Like the amount of people that have done like video game Halloween costumes that I have seen.
Oh
in the
yeah.
past.
You guys crushed it so many times. I remember when you were Lara Croft one year.
Yeah, that was the year I could get away with being a Tomb Raider. Yeah. Ripping butts, climbing on the stairs as Tomb Raider. Yep.
I might have a picture of that I can share with the world.
We don't need to. People can use their imaginations on that. I gotta circle back to this Dark Tower game. Are we doing this?
Yeah, I think it's happening.
What do you have written down? Please read me what you have written. It just says,
ready for this?
This is gonna be great.
Paul Stephen King and Mike Flanagan.
Okay.
And Weird Al Yankovic. Dark Tower MMO game world console.
That's all you wrote down. We had so many building the wheelchair.
Wheelchair power-ups.
Shiner.
That's where we lost it.
Gunslinger. Priest.
Classes.
Yeah.
Skills.
Wheel of Ka. Everybody does their superpower.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot that move.
Yeah.
The power move.
Power move is Wheel of Ka.
All right.
Group
I don't know
attack.
The man in black throws tarot cards at you. That's how this will work.
One where you go to sleep and the console shuts itself off for 10 years and you can't do anything about it.
Oh my God.
Wait.
After a certain time in the game, you can only play with 3 fingers.
Do you guys remember? Yeah, like you become disabled or whatever after the lobsters.
Only certain buttons work now.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
3
they all
out of
stopped
5
working.
buttons work.
That
This
sounds
is a
like Metal Gear
moneymaker.
Solid, where they would like switch the controller on you and stuff. Remember that? The first one?
I never played that one. I watched other people play it, henceforth the Smash Table, but I don't recall.
For the NES?
PlayStation.
But yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the old ones. I don't know if I played any of those. I think I watched people play them, but I never played one.
I
feel like a lot of your video game knowledge is. I watched somebody play that at my house once on a Monday.
Until
when
I
we had
moved
breakfast.
here, like I never played like a lot myself. I mean, Tony Hawk, Worms, fun games you could play with other people, but like I'm just not good. So, but now there's easy modes on everything, so I can actually play them and like feel like I'm a video gamer.
Well, the cool thing about the Switch is with the old retro games, there's a rewind feature.
Ooh.
So if you die, fall in a pit, just rewind it back to before you fell. Then just make the jump.
That's
it
awesome.
makes them so much more fun.
Those kids nowadays don't know the horror and the pressure.
The horror.
Oh,
The
Ghouls and
horror.
Ghosts. Remember that game? That was a terror of a game where you were a knight, you were Sir Arthur, and you were naked until you got your armor on, and then like you would upgrade your weapon, like it would be just like a lance at first, and then it would be a shooting lance, and then it would be like a lance that spread or something, and you would fight like bat creatures like on one level, like the undead.
It was all horror themed.
Yeah. And it was just brutal. It was so brutal hard, that game.
What do you think's the best horror themed video game?
Resident Evil. I remember the night that Gary came home with it from GameStop because he worked there, and so he would just bring him home and we'd play him.
Yeah.
And we turned the lights off. And that scene where the hellhound smashed through the windows in the hall scared the ever-loving shit out of me. Like, or just the moment where the zombie turns around and it goes to that cut scene with the head looking at you, and you're like, holy fuck. That was the first horror game that got me.
Yeah. Which is crazy because like that was one of the original ones. So it was like pixelated bullshit and it was still spooky.
Same with Silent Hill. I remember being super unsettled and like nervous, anxious, and like scares. Tons of horrific scenes in that.
Yeah, Silent Hill messed me up.
Yeah, Silent Hill, I think, elevated it to a very, what's the word I'm looking for?
The storytelling was great. You had to like think about it and stuff. You could like
neural.
And it was more like, it wasn't dogs jumping out at you. It was like an unsettling like belly gut horror as opposed to like jumpy horror.
Yeah, that's what was the word. I can't remember the word for it, but I know what you're trying to say.
Like psychological horror.
Psychological, yeah.
Because you just see like you'd be in a room and you'd see Pyramid Head walk in the hallway and you're like, fuck, he's not here yet, but you can hear that fucking big sword getting pulled along the floor and you don't know where he's gonna be, but he's just making himself known. That plus like Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame was horrifying too.
So is this an open world game or is this like a story?
It's open world.
Game?
The Dark Tower one, open world, but goal based, if not story based.
Goal based, okay.
Goal based.
Is this single player or multiplayer?
I think an online multiplayer.
Online, yeah.
Online multiplayer, but you can only do certain quests with a group. You can single play, but you can only like achieve certain quests needed
like
to
your typical
get to the
MMO.
tower as a group.
Yeah.
Be insane is like everyone has their own reality in single player, but then you can like join.
Other people's reality.
It generates a new world wherever you go.
Yeah, like there are other worlds than these. You have to hit the "there are other worlds than these" button. Yeah, because if you're on, that's where because if you're on a theme, like say you're playing Roland and I'm playing Susanna, and I have to get a spoke for my wheelchair. I don't have one in my world, so I'd have to go into your dimension and get one. I would have to join your world to get one. And then I could pop back into somebody else's world to do the other. This is
maybe
amazing.
You could only be in a quartet. You have to have at least 4 members to be able to jump from world to world. You can't just do it individually.
You can't do it single player?
Yeah.
4?
I don't know. I'm just thinking 4 as a number.
Oh, you'd have to have an Eddie, a Jake, a Susanna, a Roland.
Oi.
Yeah, I guess 4.
Does Oi count?
We're not. Let's not count Oi. Who the fuck's gonna play? Who's gonna play Oi? Who's like, oh yeah, I want to be Oi.
People.
You think so?
If you could play Oi, everyone would play Oi.
You'd have a million Ois running around. Yeah.
I know. How annoying would that be? Just like running somewhere and you just say Oi, 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 and you're like, all right, this is not the world I want to be in.
That's all he said, right? He just said Oi.
Yeah.
But you could kind of get what he was answering.
By his inflection or tone.
Yeah. Same with Hodor.
Yeah. Oi was the original Hodor. Unless Hodor came out before Oi. I never read the books. Herbie, would you play a Dark Tower game that's like an open world MMO like World of Warcraft, but Dark Tower?
Would I play that?
Wouldn't that be amazing? We came up with it. Jay's going to pretend that he's the only one that came up with that, but picture it literally.
No, I would never do that.
Picture you are.
Who's designing it?
We are. Say you want to be Roland, that's fine. But you have to get like the other part of your quartet together to do certain things.
I want to be Oi.
See, he wants to be Oi. Oh my God.
So you could never play as Roland though. You'd play as a gunslinger.
Yes.
In the world.
A modeled gunslinger.
But wouldn't that be an amazing game?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so like
you could
build it.
Like all the like each book could be like a level or a scene in the game, like our quest. In
All right.
there's plenty of content.
How are we not like
Wearing
Jake.
gold-plated diapers.
Call Mr. King, get on it.
All right, call. I got it. I wrote it down. Call Stephen King and Mike Flanagan and Weird Al Yankovic.
Call Steven.
Most importantly, Weird Al, because he might actually get back to me. I don't think Stephen King's going to get back.
I would
to
play
me.
the pit. Can't we just? So if it's not really, if you're not playing Roland, why couldn't we just design it anyways?
Well, because you'd be using terminology in the world of the Dark
Instead
Tower.
of a breaker, they'd be like shakers. Can we do
Shakers, crackers.
that? Oh, that's such a good idea.
We are the
Playing-
Shatterers.
Herbie wants to play as the Thinny. Is there a Thinny option? He just walks around and warbles. That's the
I do
Thinny.
like the idea of having thinnies in the game where all of a sudden you think you're going somewhere, but nope, you end up somewhere else. Or
I do like that. And you have to take aspirin every once in a while because you got a blood infection. But you have to go to another dimension and get aspirin from New York.
That could be something like that you would catch from an encounter or something like that, a spell or something, or a curse or
a lobstrosity that bites your fingers off and you need aspirin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's perma damage.
Losing fingers, I think, is a great idea. Like, I'd love a system where you could actually, damage yourself to the point where, like, you're missing an arm or something like that.
Well, you were talking about Metal Gear Solid. They did that with that, you said?
Oh, the controls and losing part of your controls because you've lost that.
So we just have to use that. We just have to pull that up from Metal Gear Solid, throw that in the game. We're all set.
He did something like he would switch the controls to the player 2 controller.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to switch your controller into the
That's so crazy.
other slot. Yeah, I don't know how like they figured that out and stuff.
I mean, we can still pull that off. I mean, we're basically building a game from the ground up, and nobody here knows how to build a game. So we're basically talking about building a game that somebody else is going to build once they watch this vodcast tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be out
They
tomorrow.
are watching, so we got to be like, no consent.
3/22/23.
Signed, sealed, delivered. We are the owners of the Cartech Corporation.
Ooh. What would the game be called? We can't call it the Gunslinger.
Oh, Other Worlds.
Something with a
Ooh.
wheel.
Oh, wait a minute. There's already another Worlds in
Yeah.
their game. Shit, that would have been perfect.
Like, if you saw this game, you know that it was a Stephen King based game, but he didn't okay it. So, but this is the closest we can get.
Everything is copyright infringement stuff has been changed just enough.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Well, I mean, if we could get it for $1, we could do a Kickstarter because none of us know how to program a video game that I know of.
So we'd have it instantly funded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. We could call it the Way Station.
Oh,
I like that a lot. I'm getting way too excited for this, and it's never going to happen. Like,
What
I'm
is
going to be
the-
wicked bummed out when it doesn't happen.
what do they call the world in Midworld?
Midworld.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Midworld.
Midworld. Can we call it Midworld if we don't have Stephen King's rights?
Well, we're assuming that he's going to be okay with it. Well, I'll talk to him tomorrow and see what I can
Okay.
put together. Yeah.
If not, we can change it to Mint World.
Ooh, Mint World. You don't, and
Mint.
roses, there's no roses. It's all mint.
It's gonna be mint instead.
Mint. I do not garden with my eyes. I do not garden with my hands. The man in plaid fled across the desert.
Across the sand dunes, not the desert. It's still too close.
The man
Too
in
close.
plaid
Get the desert.
fled across the playground. I am loving
This
it.
can be a secondary project. We'll make Gunslinger Mad Libs. Basically what we're doing now.
Oh shit, the hawk. Somebody could be the hawk.
You could play an animal class. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can play Oi, you should be able to play Roland's hawk.
You'd be more of a pet, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe like you could play a gunslinger as like a ranger or a gunslinger as a leaning in that direction
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that has an attunement with nature and creatures and can, summon beasts.
This would be amazing.
We're going to need to make the magic happen. You need to embrace every day of your life. It's like it's your last. You know what I'm saying? You got to live life to the
Love every
fullest.
minute.
but never live in fear of that moment.
Exactly.
Always live in love and make every day a good day, because
Oh,
you
God
never
damn it.
know that tomorrow
No.
is not promised, and tomorrow is not today like yesterday was tomorrow, and next week couldn't be last month. On that note, I'm going to take my
Yeah.
gunslinger leave of everybody and go feed the
Thank you
children.
guys for stopping by and talking about video games. It was a blast, and it brought back a lot of good memories. So thank you.
Good times.
Good times, good times.
I'll see you guys a
Jesus.
little further on down the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
catch me encrypted. Don't forget.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.